This is Scott the Fix-It Guy. Today we're dealing with a Whirlpool oven that doesn't heat. This is a very common problem with gas ovens. We're going to make sure we unplug it or turn off the breaker so there's no power. And then we're going to take out these racks. We're going to get to the igniter and replace it. It's pretty easy to do. We've got to remove this lower panel. So there's two standard head screws. You can use a standard head screwdriver just to loosen them, and you can spin them out by hand. There's one in the back right hand corner and one in the back left hand corner. And once you get the screws out, you can lift up the back of that panel to about 45 degrees, and then you can pull it out of the front lip where it's tucked in. And you'll see here in the video, but you just have to lift it up, pull it toward the back. Here we go, so we're lifting it up to 45 degrees. We're going to pull it out of the front lip, and then we can remove the panel. Just pull it out toward the front of the oven. This is pretty common for a lot of different gas ovens, have this arrangement. There we go. And then there's a heat deflector that kind of spreads the heat. This thing, it's a bit corroded, but we have to remove this one screw. This one nut that's on a bolt to get the heat deflector off. Might need to use a little oil. This one came off with just using the pliers. You can just lift it right off. And then the igniter is underneath, so it's pretty easy to get to. This igniter is held in by two Phillips head screws, and I'm going to put a little oil behind on these threads just to make it easier to get off. Because these oven igniter screws tend to break unless you lubricate them. You get kind of corroded. So I'm using a Phillips head screwdriver to spin those off. And then all we need to do is just splice in the new igniter, and there's a generic one. I'll show you the part number here in a second. But it works for many different models. It can work for Whirlpool and Bosch and Maytag. And most all gas ovens have this same igniter, except for the GE uses a round one. So here's the old one. We cut it out right near the igniter, so the wires are left. I'm taking the little heat protectors off so I can get to the part of the wire to put on the connection. So here's the model number for this Electrolux Frigidaire igniter. You can get these online, pretty cheap. And then here's the igniter that comes with it. It also comes with two ceramic wire nuts, which are kind of cool because they can get really hot, they won't melt. So I've got the new one spliced in with the wire nuts. I'm just going to get the igniter back into position, put the screws back in, and kind of tuck away the extra wire. I'll tighten up those two Phillips head screws. These igniters just get old and then they don't glow bright enough to ignite the gas. So you get like late heating. It takes a long time for it to heat up, or it doesn't heat up at all, or it doesn't cook evenly. These are all symptoms of an igniter that's getting old. Depending on how much you bake, you probably get between 7 to 10 years of use out of these igniters before you have to replace them. But they're pretty cheap and pretty easy to replace. They're just tucking those wires out of the way. And we'll give it a little bit of a test here. So turn on the oven, plug it back in, turn on the oven, and then it should heat up pretty fast. Within about 60 seconds you should see it glow brighter and brighter, and then eventually you'll see the gas flow in and ignite. So it's getting red hot, orange hot, yellow hot, white hot, and then it's white hot, the safety valve will let the gas flow and it'll ignite it. There we go. We got a nice blue flame, a little bit of a yellow tinge, that's normal. And turn that off, let it cool a little bit, put the heat deflector back on. We're just putting that nut back on to hold on the heat deflector. And then we'll put the panel back into position. We'll feed the front of the lower panel, the lip, in underneath the frame, and then we just let the back set down flat. And we're just going to add the 2 standard head screws back in to hold it. Really, you just need gravity to hold this panel in. These screws are not super necessary, but the manufacturer decided to have these, so it's good to put them back. You just spin them in by hand, and then you give it a little bit of a turn with the standard head screwdriver. And we'll just slide the racks back in. This particular oven's really easy to work with. This Whirlpool, kind of a basic model. Turn the oven back on to test it. Close the door. I'm going to open the bottom panel, the broiler pan or the broiler warmer, so I can look up inside there and see how the flame's doing. So I'll have that open, and there's a nice flame, nice blue flame. You can see how it spreads out over the heat deflector. Looks great. So we have an oven that's going to work good for another 7 to 10 years. So thanks so much for watching our video, and please subscribe to our channel when you get a chance. Thank you. Watching our video, and please subscribe to our channel when you get a chance, and also click the little bell notification button so we can send you weekly videos on all the different ways of fixing appliances around your home and saving you lots of money. So thanks again for watching, and please also press the like button for our video if this was helpful to you. Feel free to contact me at the email listed below, which is scottthefixitguy@yahoo.com, with any of your questions.